Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well and staying safe. Today I'm going to be talking about how to stop comparing yourself to other people. First, I want to remind you to give yourself love, give yourself time, give yourself attention, and give yourself appreciation. You are always enough. You are perfect and you are beautiful just the way you are. It's so easy to give in to negative self-talk and tell ourselves that we're not good enough, or we're not pretty enough, or we're not this, we're not that, because we compare ourselves to other people. So if we start by building this amazing relationship with ourselves and having true unconditional love for ourselves, it will be easier to stop comparing yourself to other people. Having a positive relationship with yourself and giving yourself love is really important, because you start to learn that every single thing that you need is always within you. We find it so easy to obsess over somebody else's life. We think about what job they have, what they're wearing, what they're doing, what they're eating, and we think that's the perfect way to live life. And then we start to believe that their way of life is the perfect way of life and we should be living that. So if we're not living in a way that somebody perfect is living, then we are not good enough. Remind yourself that you're the only one that can truly give back to yourself. So a few questions and things that you can reflect upon are things that you love about yourself. You can either write this in your journal or just a notebook, or even just thinking about it. Think about all of the things that you love about yourself. And sometimes this can be really hard if it's the first time you're doing it. Then you can reach out to your friends and family and ask them what they love about you, and then you can add those to your list. Another thing you can do is to reflect on your journey. So look back and see how far you've come. Think about all of the things that you've been through your entire life to be where you are today, and see how much you've developed. So a good thing you can do is track your progress, see how your habits have improved, see how other people are perceiving you, and if that's improved, and things like that. And also tell your future self that you are capable of anything you want to achieve, and believe it. Every single aspect of your entire life is in your control in terms of your emotions, how you want to feel, and what kind of things you want to physically achieve. Everything is always possible, and you're the only one that decides if it's possible for you. All of the people that we think are successful, they were once in a position where they weren't successful. It takes a lot of hard work and commitment that these successful people might not be sharing all of the time, and because they don't share it, it's easy to forget that they ever went through it, but they definitely did. So remember that you're the only one that's in control of what you want to achieve. Cultivate your own self-love. Nobody else has any power over you to do that. Only you do. People can be here to guide you and support you, but at the end of the day, everything that comes into our lives, we always have a choice whether we want to take it on or push it away. So if you find that you're comparing yourself to people, do it mindfully, do it with a purpose. I feel like I compare myself to a lot of people who are my inspiration. I don't compare myself in a way that I see them doing a certain yoga pose and I think, wow, I'm not good enough at yoga. I think about how they do a yoga pose and that is my goal, and I take it on as something I want to achieve. It's really normal to compare your life to other people, but when there's a negative effect, which is your own self-doubt or it lowers your self-esteem, that's when we need to make a change. We compare ourselves because our body and our soul is trying to tell us that we need to change something, or it's trying to tell us to bring out a certain quality that we already have within us. So going back to the yoga pose, I can see that somebody does a really amazing yoga pose and I'm realistic about it. I know that they didn't achieve that overnight and it probably took them years to get to this point. So I can see the hard work behind the pose, and this gives me a lot of knowledge and understanding, and it helps me be more committed to things that I want to achieve, and therefore I am growing and I'm developing in so many different areas of my life. I believe that we are all perfect and we have our personality traits and habits within us. But when we see it in another person, we're just reminded of how much we want to improve in that specific area. Everything in the world is merely a reflection of who you are. Whatever we put out there is whatever we will receive. If we like a certain thing about a certain person, it's just because we have that within us and we need to bring it to the surface. So over time, comparison has been seen as a negative thing, and it is, because ultimately our goal is to completely accept ourselves. But there is a good side to it as well. We get inspired by everyone around us, and it increases our knowledge in so many different ways, and that helps our self-development. So the problem comes from when we start to compare ourselves to people who are way more advanced, way more experienced in a particular thing than we are. And we don't compare the fact that they might not be good at something we're amazing at. We just focus on the fact that they're better and we're not. So then this can make us feel like we're not good enough, and then we give into societal pressures and expectations that kind of keep reducing our self-worth. So again, going back to the importance of making sure that you create the strongest sense of self-love and self-worth within you, that none of this stuff will affect you. Sometimes we can spend a very long time scrolling through someone's Instagram page and admiring their life, but they're not giving us a second thought. Then we become so focused on a perfect way to live that our self-worth goes down and we're not good enough to have that particular lifestyle, when we could be spending all of that energy on creating that life for ourselves. We can focus that energy on learning and developing and making sure that we are successful in whatever we want to be successful in. Be who you are, say what you feel. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. This is another reminder to just detach yourself from everyone who might be influencing you in a negative way. Detaching yourself is a way of reacting, but not reacting. You can listen to people's opinions, you can listen to whatever they have to say, but when you choose not to react, you're detaching yourself from them, and their opinions or their beliefs won't impact you if you don't want it to. We don't ever accept everyone's opinions. If I was in a room with 50 other people, I know for sure I would not agree with every single one of their opinions. So why do we expect people to agree with everything we say? So if we start to focus on what other people are thinking about our opinions and whether they agree or not, we can start to feel that we need a lot of validation from them, and this is where we can go down a spiral of losing that love for ourselves. At the end of the day, you're the only one that can validate yourself. Focus on being healthy, focus on being happy, and that's all that matters. And there might have been a point in your life where you were on the same journey as somebody else, and you had the same goals, same desires, and you were on the same page of life. But don't forget that everybody reads at a different pace, where everyone is on their own journey. You might cross paths with certain people, but everyone also has to keep moving forward. You need to keep taking your steps on your journey, and so do they. Every path is unique to every single person, so embrace each step that you take. And comparing yourself to other people can either make you rush through life or be too slow. If we're looking at someone who's zooming through life at this particular stage of their life, we might think we're too slow. If we're looking at somebody who's going a lot slower and taking time to focus on something specific, we might think we're moving too fast. Whereas everyone has to go at their own speed, at their own time, in their own journey, and this is so important to focus on, because if we start to look at how other people are living their lives, we're not able to live our lives to the fullest. The only person you need to compare yourself is to the person you were yesterday. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone else's journey, because you are complete and you are exactly where you need to be, and you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. I hope this video was helpful, and I really appreciate all of you watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.